Hey families, it's Janice Handrahan, your district manager for KinderCare, and I just wanted to chat with you all about some of the changes in ratios that have occurred during COVID times. So the state of Massachusetts issued a few changes. The first one in our preschool, pre-K, kindergarten, so older children age group, the ratio has reduced from 20 children to 2 teachers to 10 children to 1 teacher. And so most of our preschool classrooms where you normally saw up to 20 children can now only hold 10. So we're about halfway enrolled in our older classrooms. In our younger classrooms, they did something a little bit different, and it's more about square footage. So in most cases, in infants and toddlers, we have 35 square feet for every child that's enrolled. What the state did instead of reducing the ratios is they reduced that square footage. So instead of having 35 square feet per child, we now need to have 45 square feet per child. Now, in some of my centers, I have really enormous rooms, and that won't impact the enrollment. But in most of my centers, our classrooms are built to the 35 square feet per child. So what we're expecting and planning for in a lot of our centers is to have about 5 infants per infant program and 6 toddlers per toddler program. This will help us with that square footage and give us a good place to start. So as you're working with your center, you'll be hearing a lot about what we call our whiteboard. And the whiteboard is just generally a roster. And what it is we're recording on paper every family from the app that has responded to us in regards to what their needs are when they re-enroll. When are you going to start? What days are you going to do? And when can we expect you? So those 3 things are put on our whiteboard in order in which a family responds to us. So the families that respond the first are up at the top of that list, and then families that respond further down are going to be listed further down on our list. We're going to prioritize 5 full days a week because a 5 full day week schedule will make the most consistent in a classroom with the least amount of children coming in and out. And so, for instance, in a preschool classroom where now we can only have 10 preschoolers that come 5 full days a week is the most consistent in that class, where if we had children that had mixed schedules, it would add a little bit more, like maybe even 15 or 17 children in that classroom at a given time. It doesn't mean that we're not going to take part-time enrollment. It just means we'll prioritize 5 full first. So the next step was to make sure that as families gave us their information, that we prioritized 5 full days a week and kept a list of all the families that wanted that schedule. Then we created a part-time list, and we stayed with the same priority that as soon as a family told us about it, they were at the top of the list. Their schedules are also listed for whatever days that they wanted to have. We've also been keeping track of families that didn't want to return to us right away, but were looking to come later on in the summer or into the fall. And I think what is making families really nervous and our centers, are having a struggle is trying to figure out if we will have those spaces for them when they want to start. And so I want to be honest that I really wouldn't be able to guarantee a space to a family when we have such reduction in our ratios, but we're doing everything that we can to try to figure out how we can communicate with families really well, be transparent about where we are with our current enrollment, and also keep you up to date on what the state changes for our ratios in the future. These ratios are only in effect during COVID time, so as things get better and we see less cases of COVID, we're expecting to be able to have more children available in our programs. However, we're planning for the worst and hoping for the best. So as families are reaching out to me and saying, hey, listen, I'm not looking to start until September. Will you guarantee my space? I'm telling them honestly that I cannot guarantee their space, but I will keep track of when they want to start with us. And as we get started and we get our first rosters built for the week of June 29th, we'll start communicating with families more clearly about what we have for openings and when they could start with us. We'll give you first option of taking a space as we start to fill up, and we'll try to communicate to you if anything changes within the state. So our intention is to keep as many families as we possibly can with our programs. We would never want a family to have to leave us, but we want to be honest about the fact that we're not entirely sure when the ratios for COVID will be lifted, and that may limit our spaces as late as fall. And so we want to keep you informed and make sure that you understand what we're working towards at trying to be as fair and consistent in the way that we build our rosters as possible. I'm available for any families that have specific questions about their schedule or their needs. You can also reach out to your center director and ask them about how things are going. I know that it's been a little bit clunky with me being in the app, but once your center director is back on staff, you'll have quicker response time for any questions that you might ask in that app. And we just want to make sure that you guys know that we really care about having you come back to the center. We're trying to make sure that we follow all the regulations to the T, but also communicate as best we can. I hope this helps you guys understand kind of the challenges with the new ratios, what we're planning on doing about it, and how we'll keep you informed as things change. Thanks so much, and please reach out anytime you have a question.